I've been trying to find the time to make this video for like 3 days, but my husband's out of town, and so I've been on my own with the kids and have not had much time to sit and do it. So I finally do now. It's Sunday afternoon. We went to church, came home, ate lunch. We've been out being in the pool for the last like 2 hours, and now time to relax before we go back to church tonight. So I'm so excited, you guys. We're starting part 4 of the book, which is the last part. We're in chapter 18. It's called The Wife's Anger, Overcoming Impatience. And this part, a wife's special concerns. So this will cover like just random stuff, I guess. There's fear, there's loneliness, there's this one, anger. So overcoming patience. This was a really convicting chapter. Anger turns me off. Like the word, I'm like, oh no, I'm not angry, because I don't think of myself as an angry person. But reading through the chapter, I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is far too familiar. This is too much like how I feel often. And it's very convicting, and just, I remember reading this chapter about 2 years ago and feeling the same way. And I see improvement, of course, the Lord's at work, but there needs to be more improvement. It's so convicting and just so good to go over it again and then just be reminded of God's amazing grace and help through it all, So, the first thing I underlined in the first paragraph, I just underlined sinful anger has ruined countless marriages. That's all that popped out to me there. Then she goes on to the different Greek words for anger. I don't know how to pronounce them, but the types of anger are like raging anger, outbursts of anger, and irritation. And raging anger sounds so horrendous, like when I think of raging anger, it's like she says here, like violent passion, anger, vengeance, getting revenge. That's like the kind of anger that pursues revenge, it's like the kind of anger that doesn't just subside after a few minutes, you just cling to it and feed it and feed it and feed it. And I'm like, oh no, I've never been raging angry. But of course we have in our hearts, like we can all relate to all 3 of those kinds of anger. I do think that probably outbursts of anger and irritation are more common on the day-to-day basis. And the raging one is not a daily thing, thank the Lord. But like outbursts of anger, it doesn't have to be like a crazy loud temper, but I think it's just not thinking before you act and not thinking before you talk. It's an outburst. It burst out of you before you gain control over it. And I can relate to that. I really can. Passion. Passion has a good and a bad side. And I think the bad side of it is that we're prone to have outbursts of anger. Lack of self-control. And then irritation. I mean, that's like everybody in the world, every single day probably, So I didn't really make many notes about this next section. I don't really know why I wrote this. I'm just going to read it. I said, I'm a very efficient person. I get things done fast. And it's been a learning experience for me in marriage. Yeah. Because my husband's not that way. So I've just had to learn to not have so much, it not matter so much that I like to get things done efficiently and fast, because it's more important to me that I have harmony and peace in my marriage than to get things done quickly. And that's been a work in progress through the years, but I've definitely learned a lot in there. And then also I wrote here, because she mentions it in here, that getting things off our chest, venting, all of that fuels the flame of your anger and compounds sin. That instead of running to people and like talking about all the things that you're upset about, all the things that you're bothered about and why, take it to the Lord, and don't be seeking to get things off your chest. That's so selfish. Be seeking to stop that behavior, that train of thought, cut off the thoughts and replace them with truth and with godly things so that you can combat the sin, not feed the sin, you know? And then I went right into the next one, the biblical, excuse me, I'm still a little coughing. The biblical principles concerning anger. The righteous anger, the only thing I underlined here was Christ bore the wrath of God in their place. For those who know Christ, God's anger is for a moment and his favor is for a lifetime. And then in the second one, man can have righteous anger also. It's a rare occurrence, and even biblically justifiable anger is often sinful coming from us. So yeah, we can have righteous anger also, but I would pretty much never bank on that ever occurring, because we're so sinful that even if we have a biblically justifiable reason for being angry, we usually cross the line instantaneously to a sinful anger, because we're not perfect. We're not holy. We are selfish, and there's, we're not God. Christ had righteous anger. We're almost incapable of that. And she said, like, one way to know if you're having righteous anger or not is if you continue to think true, honorable, right, pure, lovely things, during the anger. Number 3, man's anger does not achieve God's righteous ends. I don't think I wrote anything here. There. Yes, I did. It would be better to be wronged by your husband's lack of concern for the home than to grieve God by your sin. Okay, so this was like saying even if our husband is doing a bad job in something, in some way, she gave specific examples, but failing in some way, it's better for us to honor the Lord and submit and follow our husbands in a respectful and loving Christ-like manner than to be upset with them for doing something, failing in some way that truly is wrong, but whatever, Number 4, man is to be slow to anger. Whew, that's so convicting. How many times have you burned with anger when you did not have your way? I can't even count. So many, because I'm a selfish, sinful human, and I can guarantee that that's all of us, And then I need to think about what to say, and I'll be back. Oh, I thought that was kind of funny. I wanted to read that to my husband. With the example that she gave, like, you think you're coming home and your husband said he was going to do something and you get home and he didn't do it, and the disappointment sets in, and I forget here I don't know, but she says, I need to think about what I'm going to say and I'll be back. I think that